YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host TKK and we are back with another video, guys. I have all of my stuff spread out. I am in a hotel now and I'm a lot more comfortable. Guys, this is going to be a monitor review. Now, I am recording this piece as a basis for what you can expect here. As you can see, I've got the console, PlayStation 5 set up with this thing. No need to use the hotel TV. I really think that, this monitor is going to serve me some good justice in this small little situation that I've got going on here. I'm going to be checked into this particular spot for a few days and then check it out and check it into something else. But they got a pool outdoor. They got an indoor pool. Some good things, right? I just needed a little bit of a break from staying at my loved one's house. As I said in the prior video, as well as on my community tab, I am out of state, so I'm not near like all of my big TVs. So I picked this monitor up and, we're going to be reviewing this thing. Now, what I'm going to do is over the next 2 to 3 days, I am going to be playing games, a plethora of different titles. These are some of the titles that I have here, so maybe you can expect to see them, right? We're going to have timestamps down in the description. What I did was before I checked in here, even though they do have Wi-Fi here, I got these games downloaded on this new PlayStation that I bought since I'm on the road. Bought a new console, bought a new monitor, and here we are, right? So here's the video expectations. You can expect to look at the timestamps to see the games, but we're going to be doing some gaming on this monitor, and I can't give you a review unless I actually check it out. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to get it going right after this intro. All right, guys, well, it's Monday and it's checkout time in about 3 hours. It's actually 9 a.m. on the nose right now, and I've got to check out at noon. So I wanted to kind of cut up some of this content. So far, I played a significant amount of Ghosts of Tsushima, also Days Gone, and everything's been looking good. So in between that, obviously, watch some TV. Earlier, I started off talking about that, but I felt like it would be important to kind of bridge in more experience. So I got through the entire first season of The Practice, utilizing my Plex server, and then I watched a couple of other pieces of content. I actually watched a lot of TV on this thing. It's been very enjoyable. I haven't turned on the hotel TV not one time. It's a little bit more gloomy outside. As it is 9 o'clock, so it was raining. I've already got most of my stuff packaged up and put into my vehicle, but I still wanted to make a little bit more content about this thing before I get ready to head out. As I said, I'm going to be checking in somewhere else, but I wanted to wrap this up. So television content really good on this thing, and let me just really speak to the speakers. Again, haven't turned it over 55. But the quality in audio was sufficient for the means and how this thing will be utilized. In the conclusions, we'll talk more about my thoughts as to like how this will fit into my lifestyle. Should I decide to keep this? Again, I'm on the road. It's a pretty expensive investment to be on the road with, but I'm making some great use out of this thing. So I just wanted to kind of kick in through there. What I haven't played is some Street Fighter, and I definitely gotta test this thing out, playing some games. I got my arcade stick over there in my bag, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and get some games tested out. So I'm gonna set the tripod up so we can continue on with some content, so I can speak more about how I feel input latency and such is. All right, so gonna go ahead and launch the PS5 console using the included remote that it comes with. So just hit the power button to turn it on. The screen is actually turned off right now. And we've got a light behind me that's reflective. Again, got that matte screen finish. So puts us in a good position where we can just kind of see what that looks like. Turning the console on, excuse me, is going to turn the screen on and would automatically put us in a position to get where we need to get. And it automatically activates the game mode, which we talked about briefly in the opening sequence of the first video we did. We talked briefly about game mode with the initial impressions. The prior video, I'm sorry. So game mode's pretty nice feature. They've got a game bar. You know, this gives you all the essential information that you need to have. You get some presets. You get to turn on the virtual aim point. For those of you that might play first-person shooters, you might need a little bit of assistance with accuracy and aiming. Your screen ratio, that's more something if you're playing like in PC that you can kind of modify. Consoles are going to be pretty specific to the 16 by 9. You got your mini map zone. You got more settings, which again takes you to like your TV settings. Okay, you got your sound output options. These opportunities do put you in a position where we'll cover this because you got a Bluetooth speaker list there. I do have a pair of Beats that I like to try with these just to see how those work. And then you got a help guide. And then down below that, you're going to be able to focus in on the resolution, your frame rate, your FPS, frames per second, your HDR, high dynamic range, whether that's turned on or off. And then lastly, your VRR, your variable refresh rate, whether that's turned off or on. These are features that have been implemented for quite some time now, a couple of years. And it's a quality of life thing. So again, as I've said through the course of this, this is very much similar to you engaging into a Samsung TV, right? So it's going to give you a one-to-one when it comes down to that, okay? So everything that you need to have there works really, really good. All right, so I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about the audio. As I just spoke about it, sounding good enough. Turn this thing up. I'm sitting maybe 5 feet, maybe, yeah, 5 feet from the speakers or the monitor. 55 is pretty much where I've capped it at. I can hear it pretty well. This is just playing the PlayStation 5 jingle, if you will, for the menu. It's very soft audio. Turn it up more. For this being a monitor, it sounds pretty good. Pretty good, plenty loud. I don't think you find much issues with the speakers that are integrated to this. That would be plenty loud for a room with high ceilings if you got a lot of people around, a couple of people around. Again, if you were using this kind of like in some type of tournament settings. A flaw to this monitor, in my opinion, it does not have a headphone jack. So some of the traditional methods that you may want to just plug in a headset, again, it's a monitor. So in most cases, when you're gaming on a monitor, you're going to be sitting fairly close to it. And so you may have a good pair of wire headphones that you just want to plug in. This does gives you the speaker. So I guess they figured it wasn't a necessity. I still feel like that should have been included. I'm not sure why that was the decision, but this thing is super modern. So what they have given you is an option to be able to use like a Bluetooth pair of speakers, because there's no digital optical or anything like that on this. So again, your two options when you go down to the game bar. Again, to get to that, you're gonna hold play, and so you've got your smart monitor speaker, and that's what we've been listening to. And then you've got Bluetooth speaker list. Now, this is something that I wasn't prepared to test with an actual Bluetooth speaker because I don't own one. But I do have a pair of headphones, and with my headphones, what I'd like to do is just see if I'm able to get them connected. So we're gonna try to get these things connected. All right, and so the pair of headphones that I have are a pair of Beats Studio Pros. These are the most recent ones, okay? So let's go ahead and see if, pair connect. And we are connected. Yes, I am hearing through my headphones. This is pretty awesome, actually. So I am still able to utilize the monitor's remote to control these headphones from a volume perspective. So I can go absolutely crazy with the volume if I want to. And obviously, something that I'd like to test is going to be whether or not you can actually get into audio control. So we go from sound. Yeah, there's no functionality for like equalization or balance or anything like that. So you're kind of limited in that regard as to what you could do. So that's just something to be conscious of. Adjusting the intelligent sound mode doesn't change anything from a sound perspective from what I'm hearing. So yeah, but that is cool though, that does work. All right, so respectfully, this is a gaming monitor, and no matter how many cool features it has, like you being able to watch TVs, you being able to connect Bluetooth headphones, things like that, gaming features are what matter, okay? So we're gonna start with some gaming content right now. The first thing I wanna just kind of test is like just the feel test, you know, just to see what the latency feels like, something that's familiar to me. So we're gonna start off with some Street Fighter, just kind of in a training room, just messing around with a little bit. And then we'll go to the other timestamps, meaning something that's more focused around like the fidelity and so forth. So yeah, let's load this up so we can just see how this thing feels and functions and operates. Talking points are important here. Let's leave comments, have some engagement. All right, what other way to test other than having an actual ranked match? So Kuma and I'm on the left. Good DP. Tap, 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 tap. That's my arcade stick. Right. That should do it. So the monitor feels pretty responsive. You know. Able to hit all my combos, you know. No issue. Yeah, no real problems. It's hard to gauge completely when you're playing online because you're dealing with like latency from the actual internet. And then keep it in mind, I'm playing on PlayStation 5. Every platform is going to vary a little bit, and then certain games are going to have certain features. For example, Street Fighter 6 has an option where you can go in and you can tell the game to like run at its lowest input latency. So doing things like that are always going to be helpful. Myself, like I'm sure many others, prefer to play on PC. It just feels more fluid, but the game is playable and it's created how it's created. So no issues there. Latency feels great. From a look and feel perspective, like everything just looks great. It looks how it's supposed to. Looks like a Qd-oled, so colors are nice and vibrant. And then there's a lot of settings you can go in and you can tweak. By the way, I've got my settings pretty much dialed to how I want them to be. This isn't a settings video, so I don't really like to cover that. It's more of a personal taste. But yeah, this game feels good, looks good. All right, guys, we got Ghost of Tsushima here. This is an amazing game. I'm late to the party playing it. This is the PS5 version of the game. There is a PS4 version and most recently a PC version. Just going through some tutorial stuff with the game itself. A lot of reds and everything looks very good here. This, along with the Samsung S95D, are one of the more difficult screens to capture because there always looks to be a little bit of a hazy look because any light coming from the screen will bounce off of the lens. But this thing looks incredible. It looks really good in person. Looks really good. No blooming or anything. Come on, get back in here, old man. That thing looks great, man. Looks incredible. Tell me what you guys think, man. Days Gone. This is actually a PlayStation 4 title playing on the PS5 that has not seen any type of direct PS5 upgrade. Now, I have played this game on the PC and it's obviously definitive there. But, you know, I wanted to kind of test this on this monitor just to see, you know, what my thoughts were from an upscaling perspective, just to see how good it looked, right? Something in an older generation of a game that was open world. Game's got a lot of greenery, and it does run at 60 frames per second, which again, this is shot 4K 60, so kind of is what it is there. But let's get some gameplay in on this so we can discuss. All right, so I didn't want to do any B-roll content. I wanted to do everything just straight up real, like real time. I'm not sure exactly how long I'll do these timestamps, but you know, just wanted to bring you some content. And with my conclusions, I'll put in more gameplay time to be able to speak intelligently to my real thoughts on this. Now, as I said, this is a PS4 game, and it's an open world game, if you will. I actually like, you know, these types of games where, you know, you're dealing with either zombies or the fictional of a character, you know, being infected. And so, yeah, it's pretty good. And it looks good. It does. It doesn't look like the PC version, but, you know, I spoke on that a little bit earlier just to say that, you know, there are better ways to play this. This looks pretty good. Looking at the viewfinder, I feel like we're getting a pretty good one-to-one as to what we should expect or want to see out of this. Again, this is ran in 4K at 60 frames per second. This game per se, I don't believe is in, yeah, this is actually in HDR. So let me not even say it's not. There's no ray tracing or anything like that. But again, this is on console.
Go on. Get out of here, you little shits. Yeah, that's right. Stay up there. Get along just fine.
Everything looks really good here. Yeah, man. It looks good, like I said. All right, so Spider-Man 2. Sensational game that I have just, I don't know, I just dropped off with it. I think at this point for me, I'm probably just going to wait for it to come out on PC for me to be able to like really run through it. But I enjoyed the pieces of the game that I did get to play. So right now I'm just running kind of this previous, some of it's CGI, but a lot of it looks like gameplay. So I thought it would be, I don't know, meaningful for some people because this has my favorite color, red, and then there's a lot of skin tones and such with this game. One thing I have noticed is that the panel doesn't have as much of a like a magenta overall look like all QD LED models do. And when I say all, I mean all, every one of them. This one isn't as aggressive. I'm not sure what's done different with it. Um, yeah, but yeah, so I like the way it looks, man. Looks pretty good to me. Yeah, nice vivid colors here. I knew this would be a good option just to kind of put up to show something a little different. So no real gameplay here, but the content nonetheless. Leave some comments. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Let's wrap this thing up with some conclusions. All right, guys, all things must come to an end. So let's talk about some conclusions here. I've spent the last 4 days with this thing in a hotel room. Now, I haven't been here the entire time, of course. I have a car here, and so, I've been coming and going. But from an entertainment perspective, I set myself down to make sure that I got some games in. I played plenty of online games with Street Fighter. I truly did. To this point of you actually seeing the recording, I got games in on the monitor before I got to the hotel. So while I was here, I was more focused on playing like single player title games. So the Ghost of Tsushima, the progress that I've made, and also the zombie game, Days Gone. These games were ones that I put more time into while I was here. And I put the majority of time giving this thing watch time, which I wasn't able to pull up like what my watch time is, so it doesn't look to be the same as it with the Samsung TVs. But I watched a lot of content. Like I said, a lot of content. Boys in the Hood. I rewatched Poetic Justice, which is my favorite movie. It was just Tupac's birthday on Father's Day, and a plethora of different programs from Samsung TVs, free included option for you to be able to entertain yourself. And everything just looks good, man. I like the sound of the monitor. I like the look of the monitor. I don't personally have an issue with the matte screen either. Now, I've seen and heard several people say that, but I will tell you, as a person that owns two of these monitors of the same generational 3 panel, that being the MSI and the Alienware. Alienware is the Curve. Those are both on my channels if you need validation. These are in key setups in my home. And I think this is probably my favorite when it comes down to like the look of it. I just like the way that the lighting in the room does not interfere with the picture quality of what I'm seeing. Now, keep it in mind, if you're gaming, you're going to see a lot of bright things and so forth. You're going to be able to focus well. So I'm not saying the reflections are going to be a problem, but I actually do appreciate the matte finish that's on this thing. Now, the screen, the not the screen, but the speakers are another welcome addition. I'm actually reconsidering maybe pulling my Alienware off of my Comba 2009 arcade desk and maybe putting this here, because what it'll allow me to do is take away the Logitech speaker system that I have there, okay? So it will give me a little bit more space, help me clean things up a little bit. And from a performance perspective, I just don't have any issues. Now, the only issue with me doing that is that this thing doesn't have a headphone jack. With my Alienware monitor, I currently am allowed to use the headphone jack. But again, I've got a computer it's connected to, so there's some workarounds. It's just these are things that I'm thinking about. One thing I wanted to talk about, someone did ask me in the initial impressions if this would be good to go into like a Vulix or a Chulix arcade cabinet. I showed in the initial impressions the port connectivity, and because they're on the back of the TV, it would not be a good option. That would lead to you having to get like 90-degree connectors, and a monitor of this caliber, you'd want to go directly in. So I'm not sure why they did that. It's not something that I like. I would prefer for the ports to be at the bottom. I don't know if there will ever be like a revision of this. That is definitely something that they should consider doing, putting the ports at the bottom and adding a headphone jack, and that would make this thing just about perfect for me. This monitor comes in at $1,300. When I got it, I got a $300 gift card. I used that gift card for this $450 PlayStation, so some value there. Is it worth the $1,300? That's about what these things are going. The Alienware comes in at about $1,200, but to be honest with you, there's so many of those Samsung perks that you can get. I've heard stories of people buying this thing for $800-900. I don't know, but I think the value is good there for what it offers you in all totality. But what do you guys think? Put this content together for you guys. I'm on a road, so I've explained my situation as much as I will. So I'm not around all the big TVs and things like that. But while on the road, this is real stuff. I had to get myself entertained, so bought this setup, and it's been doing me good so far. But go ahead and get this content made. I got to check out of this place at 12. I want to at least get the video rendered and posted. Give it some time. I'm going to try to post this up on a Tuesday, in which I hope that it's available in high dynamic range for you. I appreciate your time for checking out the video. I'd appreciate any type of support by way of like, commenting, or sharing. And I hope to see you on the next one. Peace. God bless. And as I always say, max love.